Today I'm going to install these motorcycle LED lights for my Talaria Sting R. I got them off Amazon. There's 8 LED strips, changes colors, all the good stuff. It was only $26, so fairly cheap. I didn't know how I was going to like this. My goal today is to get these installed, but not have where you can see the strips. I just want the glow from them. So it should be fun figuring out how to make this glow. I'll show you what's inside. Comes with a remote, 2 remotes, like a key type remote, a regular remote. It's got a switch, all the wires to wire it in. It does have for brake lights. So if you hit the brakes, everything turns red, which is kind of cool. All the strips. Let me get it out of the box. All right, so taking everything out of the box, pretty standard. All the LED strips, 2 4-inch strips, 4 8-inch strips, and 2 12-inch strips. They're a little shy of that, but they're about that. Remote, key remote, kind of cool. I like how it locks that. And then you have all the wires that go up. It plugs into this, which is the controller box. This is the wire for the brake lights. Comes over, goes in for your power, positive and negative, and it has a switch also to manually, I guess, turn it off and on. I'm not really sure if it's like an override or you could just click it on and off. Like if you click it off, we'll see. And plug it in. Came with some extra wires. The user manual with all the good details. And I think that's it. So I'm gonna plug it in. I'm actually going to use a plug and a converter. It's 12 volt, so I don't have to hook it to the bike right away. So I can kind of just play with where I want to put all the strips because I'm not 100% sure where they're gonna go. It should be fun because there's not many places to hide them on this bike. So we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna test it out. I have the DC plug plugged into there, plugged into here. This is 12 volt. If you don't know what you're doing, guys, don't do this stuff. I do know what I'm doing with electrical, so let's click it on. Oh, it turned on, lit up. All right, switch is on. Let's see if what this does. Oh, it does. That's cool. All right, so I got the remote. I'm gonna pull this tab out. Let's see if I. It's definitely a master kill. That's kind of nice. So if you're riding, you can turn it off and on. If you lose your remote, you're back on. Let's check it out. Oh, that's cool. It does all sorts of cool stuff, I guess. All right, so it does work. All right, cool. That's weird. I guess if you have music, you can kind of... All right, so I'm gonna start figuring out how to install it, where I'm gonna slip them all in, and then we'll worry about how we're gonna wire it directly in. My guess is I'm gonna use a tail light because I got so much going on the front. I think it'd be easier to rewire it all back here. So let me get this unlatched, start figuring out where I'm gonna put it. I'll get back to you guys and show you my progress. All right, guys. Like literally, it's been like 2 hours of playing with these dang things, trying to get them in the right spot. It is like the hardest part is putting these where you want them. So I put one up under here. This isn't permanent. I just did it so I can test it out, just in case I didn't like it. So far, I like where that's at. Let me turn them on so you can see. It kind of shines down. It's kind of cool. It's kind of visible. I'll probably use like Sharpie or something in front of it to make it blacked out so you don't see the front of it. I mounted 2 8-inch under there. I literally had to like unscrew the seat, literally to slide it up under there nicely. Those aren't even taped. They're just slid up under there, tucked in there, which is kind of nice. You don't see it. And if you look into all the way in the back, the 4-inch is stuck in there. With like the front one's a 4-inch. I stuck 2 of the 12s on each side to go up and around. This just kind of fell out of place. I liked where it's going. Nothing's stuck in place. And then I stuck the last 8-inch and that set right there with that one. It's really hard to find a good spot under the bike to put stuff because the skid plate, I don't want to put there because I hit stuff. And loading in my truck, I'll hit it. This is like really tucked out of the way. I like it. Looks cool. It glows nicely. You really don't see, if you're riding behind, you don't see it too bad. All around. Let me get all these wired in correctly, mounted with the tape. And we'll see how it looks after that, see if all the wires stretch inside the frame, and we'll go from there, and we'll wire it into the taillight. All right, so yesterday I kind of gave up because I pulled out my taillight and accidentally ripped the wires right out of this thing on accident. I got frustrated and just got late, and I ended up wiring a couple things and walked away from it all. And today I'm going to try to replace these wires that are attached to that so I can just plug it. I do not want to cut my wire harness to my bike at all. I really do not. I've been avoiding that since day one. And I'm going to take, this is actually from the taillight itself, the connection. So I'm rewiring a taillight and the LEDs together and then plug into the power. So once I get this figured out how to reattach this, I got to strap them out, put them back in with the new wires. It should be plug and play. So if there's any issue, I could just disconnect it from the bike and be obsolete. I won't have a taillight, but I won't have LEDs, but I'll still be able to ride my bike. All right, so I was actually able to connect this on here. It took a minute. I really had to take my time, carefully get the pins clamped on this, and then jammed it back in there, and it actually worked. You can see where I taped. I'm not happy about this. I don't like taping things. The taillight, and this is the strips for the LEDs, the power for it. So I put them together, and this is gonna plug into my harness, which is right there. So once I plug this in, it should work. Let me plug it in. We'll see how the battery works, get all these wires tucked in nicely back, and then get the battery in. Hopefully everything works fine, so for the first test run. All right, so after the taillight fiasco, and realizing I had the wires crossed so nothing was working, and that's all it was, definitely check your stuff. It was nonstop of like, everything kind of went wrong. Like the bottom, this inside LED was a different color, so I had to unplug it, plug it back in. It finally synced up, and then next, the bottom one wasn't even work. I didn't even realize it, and it was just not even plugged in. Like one of the pins got pushed over when I pushed it in, so I had to bend that back, push it in. That's what happens when you start rushing. So I slowed down, definitely got everything figured out. It's very tight in here with all the wires back there. You can't even see what's going on, but it's all shoved up like under here, everything. It is tight. But one thing I do like is the wire came with the turn it off and on. I mounted it up in here. You can actually like fit your finger in here and just go click, 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 and it's out of the way. You don't see it, it's hidden. It's kind of nice. So now that I showed you that, which I like that, close it. And of course now, things don't match it. There it goes. Turn the bike on. Taillight still. Turn the lights off, close this door so you can actually see what we're doing. Turn her on. I am happy with how it came out. It does look pretty good. Of course it's light out, so I can't show you. Let's pick a couple colors, solid colors, blue. My camera 0.5. Take a red. For $26, not bad. I gotta admit, it was much harder trying to figure out where to put everything. It really was. I struggled. I thought this was gonna be like a 2-hour process, the whole thing. I probably got like 5 hours into this. Everything you do, something goes wrong, the wire won't fit, the battery won't fit back in, hits the thing out of the place, doesn't stick right. I had to zip tie this bottom one in place down there so it didn't fall off. I used double-sided sticky tape on some of the other ones, especially this part that goes right here. It kept popping off, so I'd use some other tape. Just never-ending of small issues. Nothing couldn't conquer, but yeah, looks pretty cool. It's hard to tell when there's light. I wish I had. It kind of glows. It looks different, definitely different. in person. It's really hard to show on camera what it looks like. So if you're thinking about doing this, $26, take your time. Take your time. It took me forever, I felt. You know, you got this to do everything. You also got right here, so it's kind of nice. So you can change stuff. I think A is turn off and on. And B is like the turn like music mode or something like that. So while you're riding, you kind of trip people out, I guess. That should be fun while you're driving. That'd be kind of interesting. If you had music going, I guess I'd kind of would go with it. You go to that mode. That's kind of weird. And then I think this is a stagnant colors. And then the last one is like all the color changing ones. I think this one's where it goes, flicks back and forth, just flashes. And then it goes to like different color changing. The standard colors. And you click it again, it goes to I think the more colors. Yep. Just does a different stuff. So you still can't do everything with this key remote. You just got to use the buttons selectively. But cool. Turn it off manually, so if you have to like, oh no, I just want to keep it off so it doesn't turn off on its own. It is nice. Well, thanks guys for watching. That was fun. No, it wasn't, but can't wait to ride all night and check it out.